get
Oh
some
yeah.
scores this week.
Right on. So Thursday night was the Ravens surviving over the Bengals 35-34. They had to get a 2-point conversion at one point as well to make up for a missed PAT. So there's that. Sunday, you had the Panthers in Germany beating the Giants 20-17 in overtime. That feels like a hate crime that we sent that game over there to them. Minnesota on 4 field goals beats Jacksonville 12-7. So Mac Jones played that game. It sounds like Trevor Lawrence might be done for the year as well. We're still kind of waiting to see how that goes. Kansas City, they can't keep doing this. They win 16-14 after over Denver. After Denver, was it the field goal was blocked? Right, it was a blocked field goal.
Yep.
He didn't miss it. He just got it blocked. Vikings over the Jaguars 12-7. Chiefs over the Broncos 16-14. These fuckers can't keep doing it. I don't know if that got across or not before we dropped out. But seriously, that Jesse Pinkman meme, he can't keep getting away with this. That's where I'm at now with the Chiefs. Same with pretty much everybody who isn't a Kansas City Chiefs fan. The Bills beat the Colts 30-20. The Steelers get the job done over the Commanders 28-27. The Saints stopped their 7-game skid. They beat Atlanta 20-17. My 49ers get the win 23-20. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The Patriots beat the Bears 19-3. Oh, not a good look for Caleb Williams there. The Chargers get it done over the Titans 27-17. The Eagles get the dub over the Cowboys 34-6. The Cardinals beat the Jets 31-6. The Jets keep jetting, man. Sunday Night Football had the Lions over the Texans 26-23. And Monday Night Football is happening right now. Dolphins are playing the Rams, and they're up 7-0 right now with 9 minutes to go in the first. So that game is early stages.
The game that I was glued to was the Commanders Steelers. I was really rooting for the Commanders just because, Jaden Daniels, man, that dude's legit. Don't like Pittsburgh, and I like their quarterback. So I was actually hoping the Commanders would get that.
Well, I'm the opposite of that, but that's a divisional thing for me. I needed the Commanders to lose. I thought it was going to happen with the Bears, and then they screwed that up. I'll take the win. Although I will say how the Commanders lost has got to be the most frustrating thing in the world if I was a fan. To have your rookie lineman be called offsides on a clear and obvious situation where Russ Wilson was trying to get you offsides.
Yep.
That's a tough way to lose, man. But I'll take it.
Yeah.
It gives me a sole first place of the division.
I hear the announcer go, and they played into the Steelers' hands. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Thursday, man. The Eagles are going to be playing the Commanders for sole possession of first place entirely. So it should be a good Thursday night here coming up. But yeah.
Right
what you got,
on.
Vince?
Okay, so let's just talk about this Niners game. The Jake Moody, it's his first game back after being away for that leg injury, and he missed 3 field goals. He hit 2 of them, including the last second one from 44 yards out, but he had just missed a 44-yarder 2 minutes earlier in the game. So confidence was a little bit shaky there. In fact, Debo
choked out.
Debo Samuel was like really getting into it with him, and Tabor Pepper had to kind of get in there and settle things down, the long snapper. So
Vince, Debo was just doing his Latrell Sprewell.
Dude, Debo was just being a bully. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. Yeah, so
that's one of those things. The kicker's got one job: make the kicks, man.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, and I mean, there was other opportunities as well. To really put the game out of reach, but they keep kicking field goals instead of getting touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey looked pretty good, like especially receiving the ball, so in his first game back. So I'm just as long as he stays healthy, he's going to keep getting better as the season goes on, and he'll have only half a season of wear and tear as opposed to, everybody else. So if they win ugly this week, you know. Was Nick Bosa missing tackles or whatever? I think he might have been sad because he got fined.
Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa. Let me rephrase this. The Buccaneers quarterback literally held off MAGA with one arm.
Yeah, that's right. He was like, Bosa was holding on to his arm, and Baker just kind of kept running away and able to get away from him. I don't know what the hell that play was specifically. I saw that. I was
there was a lot of jokes on the internet, and one of them
I was aghast. Yeah,
he doesn't play as hard against white quarterbacks, I guess.
Yeah,
off the top of my head, it seems like Bosa, just for being supposed to be a premier pass rusher, he disappears a lot, and he disappeared a little bit in that Super Bowl. I'm kind of worried about it because he's supposed to be, I mean, look at the amount of money the 49ers gave him, the holdout, and it took him forever to play into shape when everybody was saying, this guy's he's a Ferrari, he's in shape. So I'm kind of worried about it because it's 2 years consecutive that he's just very unimpressive or has too many games where he just goes silent. And I'm worried about that for the 49ers going into the playoffs because you need edge rushers to get after the quarterback. And then when he gets not taking them down.
Yeah. I mean, there was to circle back to the kicker part. Jake Moody's said somebody in the media asked him about the kerfuffle with Debo, and he said no, he doesn't owe me an apology. That was just heat of the moment kind of thing. So it sounds like they're good. So at least that part, I'm not too worried about that. I think Jake Moody knows he's a kicker.
Yeah,
on this team, like you said, kickers have one job. And
do you think he'll be the kicker for the 49ers next year?
No,
I don't know.
He'll compete.
He might be. I think he absolutely could be. I mean, we'll see. Maybe this was just a bad game, and it was his first game back from that injury.
Vince, it's a lot of misses in his career.
It is. No. This year, this is his second year. Last
is
year,
Robbie Gould out there?
But that's what I'm saying. It's only second year, and he misses quite a lot.
Let me tell you, this year he only missed one field goal before this, so he's getting better. He got all the misses this year so far in one game. So I think we got to see how he bounces back from this first before I'm ready to call it. I'm a little cautious on trying to take a man's job away from him. I'm a little reticent to do that. After
because I'm ready to game. I'm ready to go, coach. Put me in.
So can you hit a 50-yarder?
I can, with my eyes closed.
Sure you can, bud. I know that I'm capable of 30 right now, and if I train up for it, I can get to about 45. But also, I'm not a.
My argument is that Moody was a second round pick.
Yeah,
that's a lot of misses for a second round pick. The last time the kicker went that high is probably Janikowski.
Yeah. So this is
shout out the all-time points leader in Raider history.
I'm just saying because he was a second round pick, they're going to give him every opportunity to lose the job before they take it away from him. And I think that we saw that with this team in several other opportunities, like Jimmy Garoppolo, for example. They gave Jimmy every opportunity first before deciding to move on, Mm-hmm. And even then they still brought him back, one extra year. And he was sort of that bridge until he got hurt to Brock Purdy. And we kind of lucked into Brock Purdy a little bit there, looking back on it now. So that's just kind of the way this team operates is I think they especially the higher prized talent, like the higher price, the higher, draft capital that they spend on somebody. They're going to make sure that he's not the guy, whoever it is, before they move on. And right now I can see them writing this off as it was just a bad game. We'll see how he responds. If he has another bad game like this, then absolutely it's time to start talking about it.
I think
Until
Debo
then,
might
we'll
put
see.
him in an arm bar.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, Debo might fuck Snap
Yeah.
if he has a game like that again, especially if it's in the playoffs. Yeah, you're basically, if I'm Jake Moody, you're allowed one more miss the entire season, and that fucker better not be inside of 50. You know, if you do miss it, it better be a long kick that, you know, a 50-yard plus that he misses going forward. So he is kind of. He's in timeout right now. He has his nose in the corner. He's gonna sit there and he's gonna think about what he did. Okay, but he's not like he's not gonna be gone yet. They have the other kicker that was replaced him, but then got injured making a tackle as well. Because they let Anders Carlson or whatever his name is
Go. Yeah, they released him.
go. So he was kicking for the Jets this past week. So
Vince, just looking ahead a little bit at the 49ers schedule. Next week, you guys got the Seahawks. Then you're at the Packers,
Yep.
at the Bills.
the
home
Bills
against
is
the
December.
Bears,
Yep.
home against the Rams, at
Mhm.
Dolphins,
Mhm.
home against the Lions,
Mhm.
and then you're at Arizona Cardinals. So
Yep.
Arizona's one game ahead right now. But
Yep.
it looks like this 49er season is going to come down to the wire. Entertaining for me because none of them are my dogs.
Yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. They should win. I think they will end up winning the division. I do like my call preseason about Arizona being better than people thought, though. That's looking pretty smart. I look like a goddamn genius.
Update, just not breaking news, but update news.
Oh,
the Sharks were down 3-0, and now it's 3-2. So we have a game here, boys.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I just looked up, and there it is. So that's cool. Yeah, so I forgot where I was. Go Niners. There we are.
You said Arizona was your surprise.
It was
yeah.
Arizona was the playing a lot better than a lot of people thought, but not me. I knew that they would be a lot better than last year. So go me. All right. So with that, I think you got a week off, Sam. You didn't have anybody playing this week.
Yeah, no
right?
stress.
So,
I just got to be a normal, just kind of like a reporter, right? Just sit back and watch. Got to see some Sharks games, some Warriors games. So it was a nice weekend for your boy.
Yeah. No stress. Yeah. Sounds nice. So there was the trade deadline that just happened for the NFL this past Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific. Khalil Davis, the Niners got a pass rusher, Khalil Davis, for a 2026 7th round pick. So basically pocket change. The Rams traded for Tre'Davious White and they traded Tre'Davious White, excuse me, and a 2027 7th round pick to Baltimore for a 2026 7th round. So you do a pick swap. I mean, so yeah, that was just a salary dump, I think.
Salary dump, and I read an article earlier last week that this trade they knew something was happening, and it was basically a handshake deal. He wanted new scenery, the Rams wanted to dump the salary, so it was just a good faith deal.
Okay. Green Bay traded Preston Smith to Pittsburgh for a 2025 7th. That's going to be a running theme with all these trades. It's a lot of 7th round picks, a couple of 6ths.
Even if you're renting Preston Smith for a year for amount of games, I would have given that up if I'm the Raiders. Like, that's a good player for a 7th round draft pick, and then he impacted the game. Like his first sack for them was an impactful sack that helped them clinch this game.
Yeah. Speaking of impact players going to Pittsburgh, Mike Williams got a touchdown for Pittsburgh. The Jets traded him for a 5th round pick. And that was just, he never fit in with the Jets at all. And
he made sure to let Aaron Rodgers know in his little tweet today with, he said, thanks with a snake sign next to it. Shout out Aaron Rodgers and how he talked shit about him on his team. So fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, fuck that guy. New Orleans traded Marshawn Lattimore and a 2025 5th round pick to Washington for a 2025 3rd, 4th, and 6th round picks. And the 6th round pick that they sent was originally the Saints selection, which the Commanders had previously acquired in the John Ridgeway deal. So,
welcome back.
Yeah. That's unfortunately that's the end of the Marshawn Lattimore, Mike Evans rivalry.
Yeah,
we're not going to get to see that as often anymore.
that third was the Eagles. We traded that when we traded for Jahan Dotson. So
Oh,
they
right.
used our third to get Marshawn Lattimore. So that's
Yeah.
fun.
So they basically traded as a sixth to get Marshawn and Dotson to get Marshawn Lattimore.
That's a great trade for.
It's that's working some magic there, man.
They have some young defensive back talent already on the roster, so it puts a lot of people in the right place. And he didn't play this week. I think he's going to make his debut next week.
Yeah.
You mean this Thursday? Thanks.
Yeah.
Thursday, yeah.
Carolina traded Jonathan Mingo and a 2025 7th round pick to Dallas for a 4th rounder.
Wait, hold on, because you didn't let me talk about my Eagles, and since we're on this Dallas here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you already. Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So Dallas definitely got fleeced in this trade. I cannot believe that they gave up what they did to get Mingo, who there's literally this amazing play where he is catching this ball and his brain tells him that he needs to keep his feet inbound. So he like dolphin kicks out his legs, but he kicks his legs out and he lands out of bounds. So he caught the ball out of bounds. What if he just would have stood up straight? He would have caught the ball. So IQ levels, sometimes not always there for Mingo.
Yeah, focus. I think is what they'll say. The focus, the attention to details.
Yeah.
The route running, the little things.
I have 3 key points, or at least 3 things that the Dallas game that I just want to mention real quick.
Absolutely.
Our defensive ends, the rookies, I don't know how they fell in our laps. I mean, both of them are just studs that I think they're both competing against each other for defensive rookie player of the year. So I love everything that we have defensively going on right now. I was very critical about Vic Fangio's defense. It seems like everyone's bought into it. It's starting to show its worth, and it's actually kind of shades of what the 49ers were back in the day. So I am liking it right now. Second point is the Dallas Cowboys had as many turnovers as points. So that would be 6 if you're counting, which is great. I love that. And then my last point that got brought up was that obviously that stadium has some sun issues. So, I'm not going to blame Jalen Hurts for struggling in that first quarter. He probably couldn't see, let alone his receivers probably couldn't see either. So when asked Jerry Jones about the situation with the sun, they said, would you put up curtains up there? And Jerry Jones got so mad that everyone would talk about his stadium. He said, you know what, I'll just sell the stadium, build a new one. So crybaby's going to cry. So
yeah,
I love everything about this week.
It's always about Jerry. Jerry always has to make it about Jerry. That's why Jimmy Johnson ended up getting fired really in the 90s, because Jerry Jones couldn't take it that somebody else was getting some shine. It's always about Jerry. And that's why the Cowboys are fraudulent, and they will remain fraudulent.
The Cowboys got the one after Jimmy Johnson with Barry Switzer. Was it 2 years after?
It was immediately. It was
immediately.
Yeah.
With Barry Switzer, but I mean, Jimmy put that team together, and how much more could Dallas potentially could have won? It's just mind-boggling that Jerry Jones chased away the best thing that happened to that franchise. They haven't done anything since.
Yeah,
like they've been competitive, but have you really been convinced that Dallas is a legit contender?
No.
I will worry about Dallas when Dallas gives me something to worry about.
Exactly.
And even when like Dak's first year where he ended up taking over for Romo, they were like 13-3 that year or whatever. I was still like, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. And wouldn't you know it, they fucking fell on their faces again. Like,
this
story.
Did you hear this 5 interception quarterback stat to continue to win the game?
Oh, for Goff.
For Jared Goff was the other quarterback was Matt Ryan with the Falcons, and the other one was Tony Romo.
Oh, of course.
That sounds very Tony Romo like.
That is a very Tony Romo stat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Anything else on the Eagles game?
No, that was it. I just, fraud boys, stay fraud.
Yeah, that's right. Fraud's gonna fraud. Chicago also traded Khalil Herbert to Cincinnati. That's just a depth trade for Cincinnati. They needed somebody to back up Chase Brown now that Zach Moss is done for the year.
Yep.
Cleveland traded Zadarius Smith and a 2026 7th round pick to Detroit for a 5th round pick and a 6th round pick.
Yeah, Detroit
then-
needed a
yeah.
pass rusher, so
Yeah. Got to make up for the Aiden Hutchinson loss there. And then Denver traded edge rusher Baron Browning to Arizona for a 2025 6th round pick. So there's a lot of other littler trades, but I thought that was just kind of, a helpful smattering of the higher ticket item trades, I guess, for lack of a better term. So there is your trade update. And
Right
there
on.
we go. Yeah. Anything else for football?
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, we mentioned off air in the pre-show that the Raiders have hired Norv Turner as like an offensive assistant. What's it matter at this point? Just secure the number 1 pick and punch the ticket for Cam Ward. That's what I want.
Right. Former Raiders head coach Norv Turner.
Exact. A lot of former head coaches on this team, and they can't figure it out, which is mind-boggling.
Yeah,
Too many cooks.
I'm starting to think maybe Antonio Pierce isn't the guy. Maybe not. Or maybe he's a little bit out in front of his skis a little bit. He's a little above his head right now.
I think I don't know. I think there's opportunity to become like Dan Campbell, his first 2 seasons, right? Like everybody was saying, get rid of this guy. And thankfully the organization, the new general manager stuck with him. So I think there's an opportunity to grow into somebody like a Dan Campbell, who's a good motivator of guys. Antonio Pierce knows the game. He was a really good linebacker.
Oh yeah.
Right?
No, I'm not questioning that. I'm just,
but the other thing is how many raw guys, look at the 49ers, Mike Singletary, Hall of Famer, just didn't cut it as a head coach.
Yeah.
And those guys are up and down the league. And I think that's the concern is this guy going to be, is he a career linebackers coach, defensive coordinator, or is he going to be a head coach? Because that's like being the head coach is like a CEO, like you're running a business and you're holding all of these people, accountable. Look at Pittsburgh. Like Mike Tomlin just pulls 10 wins out of his ass every single year.
Yeah.
And that thing is business as usual. It doesn't matter who's there. They just plug in players. And it's like the same damn team year after year. They just get 10, 12 wins. So that's unfortunately that's what you want. But those guys don't grow on trees. So it's probably Bill Belichick in a couple of months anyway. So
co-owner Tom Brady's already there.
It's like
they already tried once to make it Patriots West, man.
In closing on football and NFL, was thinking about this the other day. Like, I actually have no problem with football players, former players, like owning teams, part of a team. But to me, this feels so wrong and dirty that the player that is at the center, the apex of where your franchise is at with this tuck rule, because the Raiders would have went into the Super Bowl. You don't know what's going to happen, but you would have been there. And it just totally changed the trajectory of your franchise, and to allow that player into your building as an owner. I don't give a crap if he's the greatest of all time. We don't know how he's going to impact any winning or this or that. I think the first players that should have been offered ownership are actual Raider alumni who are interested in owning a team. And I would say that for any franchise, any organization. If Tom Brady wanted to own a team, he should be offered shares into the Patriots or the Buccaneers for the team you played for. Not it just seems like the wolf is in the hen house type of thing. It does not feel right. And Al Davis has to be rolling in his grave. I mean, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I completely agree.